using Beatrice Langford throughout. I never breathed a word to my son about the hefty paycheck that landed in my account each month, a sum that could buy small luxuries most folks only dream of, yet there I was, scraping by in his eyes with my no-frills routine. It all came to a head when he rang me up one ordinary afternoon, inviting me to a fancy supper with his bride's folks, who'd flown in from across the ocean. I figured it was the perfect chance to play the part of a down-on-her-luck widow, curious to peek behind their polished exteriors and see how they'd handle someone they pegged as penniless and unassuming. Little did I know, the second I crossed into that swanky eatery, the evening would unravel in ways that left my son's wife and her kin reeling, exposed for the shallow souls they truly were. And oh, they had it coming, every bit of the fallout. Allow me to walk you through it step by step, starting with the woman I've always been, the one my boy Nathan, now pushing 35, never fully grasped. To him, I was simply the reliable figure who rose before dawn for some vague office jig, trudged home bone, weary, whipped up meals from whatever scraps the pantry held, just your average clerk or filer, nothing to write home about. I let that image stick, never once setting him straight on the reality that I pulled in 40,000 monthly, had climbed the ladder to vice president at a global firm over 2 decades, brokering deals worth millions and steering choices that shaped the livelihoods of countless employees. What good would boasting do? I came from a time when self-respect was an inside job, when quiet resolve trumped flashy declarations. So I kept my accomplishments under wraps. I stuck to the same cozy, unpretentious flat for ages, clung to a trusty old satchel until the leather frayed, shopped sales racks for my wardrobe, prepared home, cooked feasts, stashed away every spare dime, and watched it grow into a fortune, all without fanfare. Real influence doesn't announce itself with trumpets, it watches, waits, and learns. I was doing plenty of watching when Nathan's call came that breezy Tuesday. His words tumbled out jittery, reminiscent of his boyhood confessions after a mishap. "Mom, I've got a big ask. Lydia's parents are in town from Europe for the first time. They insist on meeting you. Dinner's set for Saturday at this upscale spot. You in?" His plea carried an undercurrent that set my nerves on edge. Not the warm invite of a loving son, but one laced with worry about optics, about not embarrassing him in front of company. "Have they heard much about me?" I probed gently. A pause hung heavy, then his hesitant reply. "I mentioned you hold down an office job, live solo, keep things modest, don't have a lot to your name." That word, modest, landed like a slap, shrinking my whole existence into something pishable, a liability to smooth over. I inhaled steadily. "Count me in, Nathan." After hanging up, I surveyed my living room's sturdy but dated couches, bare walls save for a family photo or two, a compact television set. In that instant, inspiration struck. If my son saw me as struggling, and his in-laws were primed to appraise, I'd deliver precisely the illusion they anticipated, a broke, wide-eyed matron scraping by. I'd gauge their kindness toward the have-nots, up close unmask their genuine dispositions, because a hunch told me Lydia's clan valued folks solely by their net worth. And my hunches, they're rarely off. Come Saturday, I rummaged for my most downtrodden ensemble, a faded beige frock, loose and creased from years, in the back of the closet. Scuffed flats that had seen better days, no baubles or timepiece in sight. I snatched a weathered cloth shoulder bag, twisted my silver-streaked hair into a careless knot, and faced the mirror. There stared back a lady weathered by hardship, utterly unremarkable. Ideal. I hailed a cab and rattled off the venue. A posh establishment in the city's elite district, where menace skipped prices altogether, and a single place setting outpriced a week's groceries for many. In wrote, a peculiar blend of eagerness and melancholy stirred within me. Eagerness for the revelations ahead, melancholy at the slim hope I might be mistaken, that they'd extend warmth beyond my ragged appearance. Yet the seasoned executive in me, battle, hardened from boardroom wars, knew better. The cab halted before gleaming facades and valet attendants. I settled the fare, emerged, drew a fortifying breath, and entered. Nathan stood by a spacious table overlooking the avenue, clad in a sharp navy suit, crisp shirt, polished loafers, his posture rigid with unease. Lydia, my daughter-in-law, shimmered in a sleek ivory gown with subtle embellishments, stilettos elevating her grace, her auburn locks cascading flawlessly. She scanned the doorway with a strained frown, avoiding my gaze. Then came her parents, enthroned at the table like visiting nobility. The mother Evelyn, dazzled in a sapphire sheath, dripping with crystals, adornments glittering at her throat, wrists and ears, her platinum hair in a sophisticated twist, exuding that icy allure meant to command. Her spouse Harold mirrored the opulence in a bespoke charcoal suit, a ostentatious timepiece gleaming, his demeanor stern. They belonged on a billboard for extravagance. I approached with deliberate, shuffling steps, feigning intimidation. Nathan spotted me first, his expression crumpled, eyes darting over my attire, a gulp visible. "Mom, you made it." His tone dripped discomfort. "Wouldn't miss it, dear." I offered a shy grin, one unused to grandeur. Lydia pecked my cheek perfunctorily. "Good to see you, mother-in-law." Her eyes betrayed otherwise. She presented me to her parents with a note of apology. "Father, mother, meet Nathan's mom." Evelyn glanced up, her appraisal swift and cutting. Wrinkles, shabby shoes, humble bag. She proffered a limp hand. "Charmed." Harold echoed the gesture, his smile plastic. I claimed the distant end seat, isolated like an afterthought. No chair pulled out. No inquiries about my comfort. The server presented ornate menus in elegant script. I feigned bewilderment at the foreign terms. Evelyn observed, "Need assistance." Her smile was all surface. "If you wouldn't mind, it's all Greek to me." My voice quavered meekly. She exhaled audibly and selected for me. "We'll keep it basic, nothing extravagant. No need to splurge." The implication lingered. Harold assented. Nathan averted his eyes. Lydia fidgeted with her linen. Silence prevailed as I observed. Evelyn launched into travel tales, their transatlantic journey, the exhaustion, the contrasts abroad. Seamlessly she pivoted to affluence, their 5-star lodging at Ferdinand 200 nightly, the premium vehicle rental, high-end boutiques yielding a couple thousand in trinkets, nothing lavish. She eyed me for awe. I murmured, "Sounds wonderful." She pressed. "You see, Beatrice, Harold and I have always been prudent with finances. We toiled relentlessly, invested shrewdly. Properties span continents now. Harold's enterprises thrive, and I manage our portfolio." Her grin screamed supremacy. "Your line of work, sweetly laced with poison, office duties." I demurred, eyes downcast. Bits of this and that, filing paperwork, routine tasks. Evelyn shared a glance with Harold. "Administrative, then, respectable. Honesty in labor counts, doesn't it?" "Absolutely." Fare arrived on vast platters with minuscule artistry. Evelyn sliced her filet precisely. "This runs the 95, but excellence demands investment. One shouldn't settle for mediocrity, agree." I concurred softly. Nathan attempted a pivot to his career milestones. Evelyn overrode. "Does your mother reside alone, son?" Nathan nodded, modest flat. Evelyn's pity was theatrical. "Challenging, surely, at your stage. Send substantial aid. Does your wage suffice?" The snare tightened. "I get by, pinching pennies where possible. Needs are few." Evelyn's sigh was operatic. "How valiant, Beatrice. I truly salute solitary warriors. Though naturally, we yearn to bestow more upon our offspring, elevate their circumstances. But we offer what we possess." The barb struck, implying my maternal provision fell short. Lydia stared at her dish. Nathan's knuckles whitened beneath the table. I smiled serenely. "Indeed, we give our all." Evelyn persisted, We ensured Lydia's privileges, elite academies, global excursions, multilingual fluency. Her position pays handsomely now. Upon their union, we contributed generously house deposit, exotic honeymoon. Family supports family. Her stare pierced. Your contributions to their nuptials. What I could manage, a modest token. Evelyn's beam was patronizing. Thoughtful. Intentions outweigh sums. Rage simmered coldly within, restrained like a glacier's undercurrent. I inhaled methodically, maintained the facade, allowing Evelyn's monologue to flow, boastful types always do, unearthing their voids in the process. She savored vintage wine, to 250 a bottle. Do you partake, Beatrice? Rarely, and then the budget variety. Not my expertise. Evelyn's condescension deepened. No fret. Refined tastes evolve through exposure, voyages, cultivation. Harold and I have toured vineyards worldwide. It's our passion. Lydia inherits our discernment. Harold beamed. Evelyn queried my pastimes. Television, home cooking, park strolls, uncomplicated joys. Their exchanged glance screamed verdict. Charming simplicity. Evelyn cooed. Yet aspiration drives us toward enrichment, cultural expansion. Opportunities vary alas. Desserts followed. Delicate confections. Evelyn's at 35 with gold leaf accents. Exquisite detail. She then shifted gravely, as kin assembled, a family matter warrants discussion. Nathan tensed. Mother, perhaps not now. She silenced him. Vital, dear. To me, Beatrice, I commend your solo upbringing of Nathan. Adversity forges strength. But now, married with duties, he and Lydia merit equilibrium. Equilibrium? Fiscal, sentimental. We've aided substantially and will persist, yet extraneous loads hinder. She deemed me the load. Lydia fixated downward. Nathan's jaw locked. Loads? Evelyn exhaled. No offense, but your circumstances, solitary, modest income, naturally burden Nathan emotionally. Admirable sonship, yet it shouldn't strain his union. Crystal clear. Evelyn beamed. Splendid. Thus Harold and I propose modest monthly aid, say 600, 800, easing your life sans Nathan's fret. Pause for effect. In return, grant them privacy, minimal intrusion, autonomy in their journey. The veiled payoff. Purchase my absence to preserve their pristine facade. Nathan erupted. Nuff, mother. Evelyn quelled him. I dabbed my mouth, sipped water. Let hush build. Eyes fixed on me. Evelyn expectant, Harold smug, Lydia abashed, Nathan desperate. My voice emerged steady, authoritative. Intriguing proposition, Evelyn. Her triumph flickered. Pleased you concur? I pressed. Clarify the modest sum. Around 600. 800 to vanish from Nathan's world. She squirmed. Not phrased thus, merely assistance. Precisely your phrasing. 45,000, she boasted. Honeymoon, 18,000, Italian splendor. Total investment, 63,000. Love spares no expense. Agreed. But did it procure loyalty or mere compliance? Tension thickened. Evelyn bristled. Pardon. All evening, wealth dominates your discourse. Costs, expenditures, assets. Never once inquiring my well-being, joys, pains. Merely appraising my value at 800 monthly. Harold interjected, misconstruing generosity. Generosity. Pity parades, humiliations, bribes for exile. He faltered. Nathan paled. Mum. No, I've silenced long enough. Posture erect, I locked eyes with Evelyn. She averted first. You praised solitary struggler's bravery. She nodded warily. Evers struggled sans Harold's cushion. Built independently, sans inheritance. She faltered. I contribute vitally. Portfolios, properties. On his foundation. Harold fumed. Unfair, she labors equally. Managing extant wealth differs from forging it anew. 40 years back, age 23, I was a lowly typist, minimum wage, cramped rental, bargain meals, isolated, pregnant, partner vanished, kin disowned. Persisted, labored till delivery, returned postpartum. Neighbor-minded Nathan, I clocked 12-hour shifts. The table stilled. Night studies, languages via community centers, finance management. Ascended typist to aide to supervisor, onward to executive. 2 decades of unrelenting grind. Evelyn stared blankly. Current earnings, 40,000 monthly nearing 20 years. Overseer for multi-nation scope billion-dollar budgets, 12,000 plus staff impacted, complex pacts. Nathan's utensil clattered. Lydia gaped. Harold dubious. Evelyn stunned. 40,000, precisely. Gross near 9.5 million excluding perks. Nathan whispered, why conceal? To instill values in effort, not entitlement. Mold a man, not a beneficiary. Wealth tempts corruption, I shielded you. Lydia. Yet this humble abode attire. No need for spectacle. Genuine affluence whispers. To test your treatment of the poor, I done this guise. Your colors shone vividly. Evelyn flushed. Absurd. We'd have known. I chose simplicity, invested wisely, eschewed ostentation. Harold. Nonetheless, rudeness prevailed. Rudeness. Labeling me burden, bribing absence, belittling my existence. I rose. Money buys neither grace, education, nor compassion. You possess funds, lack essence. Evelyn surged. You deceived. Your actions self-unmasked. I merely provided the stage. Lydia teary. I was unaware. Off funds, yes, of their cruelty, no. You witnessed. Nathan, forgive my blindness. I embraced him. No forgiveness needed. Lessons in empathy are priceless. Evelyn. This alters not. Deception taints. My pretense unveiled your reality. Server approached. Harold demanded the bill. Evelyn clutched my revealed card. Platinum. Unlimited. Engraved Beatrice Langford VP. Her tremor betrayed fear. I decline your funds, she snapped. Yet you dispense pity freely. Accept as etiquette you neglected. Harold's cards declined sequentially. System glitches, he claimed. Humiliation mounted. I produced my rarefied metal card invitation only $250,000 annual spend minimum. Bill settled instantaneously, $850 total. Delightful evening, I quipped. Grateful for unveiling your cores. To Lydia, choose actions wisely, teach heart over holdings. Nathan and I departed. Night air cleansed. Hey, proud yet foolish for assuming. You saw my intense self-reliance. Taxi ride home, I confided in the driver, a sage elder. His honesty mirrored mine. Truth liberates. At my modest dwelling, peace enveloped. Messages from Nathan, then Lydia seeking reconciliation. Sunday morn, park bench reflections with a wise octogenarian. Pigeons share equally, humans invent divisions. Her insight reinforced my path. Midweek, Lydia arrived unadorned, vulnerable. Parents' poverty scarred them, money became armor. But inexcusable, she vowed change, boundaries set, respect or distance. Teach me authenticity, Levitt, question motives. Nathan updated confrontations, ultimatums, relief and autonomy. Family ties strained but honest. Ultimately, I embraced my truth unapologetically. Executive, mother, and reached beyond measure in serenity, love, integrity. Evelyn and Harold persisted in emptiness. I thrived in fullness. To extend the narrative meaningfully, let's delve deeper into preparatory scenes. That Friday eve, I paced my flat, rehearsing my role. I recalled my own ascent, early widowhood, juggling infancy and ambition. Flashback to a pivotal board meeting years prior, negotiating a merger, outmaneuvering skeptics, securing promotions. I practiced meek gestures before the mirror, chuckling at the irony. Added dialogue during cab ride to restaurant driver, a chatty immigrant, shared his hustle. Lady in this city, appearances deceive. I drive millionaires who tip pennies, janitors who give 20s. Wise words, I replied. Tonight, I'll test that. At the venue, pre-dinner mingling, Evelyn boasted of charity galas, subtly probing my charitable contributions. I mumbled about church donations. Harold regaled with yacht tales. I feigned awe at boat expenses. Mid-meal expansion, Nathan shared childhood anecdotes. My sacrifice. Skipping vacations. Evelyn countered with Lydia's Swiss boarding school. I interjected humbly. Public schools built character. Subtle barbs escalated. Post-reveal Fallout extension restaurant patrons whispered. Manager comped aperitifs recognizing my card. Evelyn's failed calls to bank frantic. Harold's bluster deflated. Departure scene with Nathan. Street conversation on values. Mom, your investments teach me. Gladly, but earn first. Homeward taxi deep in driver's tale of lost love. Honest to the end. Regret lies, not truths. Inspired, I tipped generously. Sunday park encountered joggers, families contrasted with in-laws isolation. Elderly lady's pigeon analogy sparked internal monologue on equality. Lydia's visit, tea shared, stories exchanged, her privileged isolation vests. My gritty triumphs, she confessed envying my freedom. Start small, donate anonymously. Nathan's call detailed in-law meltdown. Threats, tears, eventual radio silence. Couples therapy planned. Months later, epilogues added for length. Family holiday, tense but civil. Evelyn's forced politeness, Harold's avoidance. Lydia pregnant, vowing balanced upbringing. I gifted anonymous college fund. Nathan thriving independently. Another layer, my workplace vignette. Leading a crisis meeting, mentoring young execs on integrity over profit. Colleague, Beatrice, your humility inspires. Ties back to lesson. Conversational reflections, solitary evenings journaling triumphs, forgiving self for deceptions. Celebrating authenticity. As the weeks blurred into months, the dust from that explosive dinner settled into a new, uneasy rhythm, one where silence spoke louder than any argument ever could. Nathan and Lydia kept me in the loop with cautious updates, careful not to push, careful not to assume. I, in turn, gave them space, the kind of space that lets wounds scab over without picking at them. My apartment remained my fortress of quiet, the same creaking floorboards, the same chipped mug for morning coffee, the same view of the park where pigeons still squabbled over crumbs like nothing in the world had changed. But everything had. I could feel it in the way the air moved around me, lighter, cleaner, like I'd opened a window that had been painted shut for decades. One crisp October afternoon, my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring twice, debating whether to answer. Curiosity won. Beatrice Langford speaking. A pause, then a voice I hadn't heard since the restaurant. Evelyn, but stripped of its usual varnish. No clipped confidence, no practiced warmth. Just raw, cracked edges. It's Evelyn. Another pause. Harold's mother. Lydia's mother. I leaned against the kitchen counter, the cool tile grounding me. I know who you are. I'm not calling to fight, she said quickly, as if I might hang up. I'm calling because I need to say something, and I don't know how to say it without sounding like a fool. I waited. Silence was a language I'd mastered long ago. She exhaled shakily. I've been thinking about that night. Every day. I replay it when I can't sleep. The way I spoke to you. The way I looked at you. The way I thought about you. Her voice wavered. I was cruel. Not just thoughtless, cruel. And I didn't even see it until you made me see it. I closed my eyes. Part of me wanted to interrupt, to say, good, you should feel it. But another part, the part that had raised a boy alone, that had learned to forgive without forgetting, held back. I don't expect forgiveness, she continued. I don't deserve it. But I need you to know that I've started seeing a therapist. Harold thinks it's ridiculous, but I go anyway. I'm trying to unlearn everything. The way I was taught to measure people. The way I taught Lydia to measure people. I opened my mouth, then closed it. This wasn't the Evelyn who'd offered me 800 to disappear. This was someone smaller, more human. I don't know if this changes anything, she said. But I needed to say it. Out loud. To you. I finally spoke. Thank you for calling. That took courage. A soft, bitter laugh. Courage. I've spent my life thinking courage was buying a bigger house or a faster car. Turns out it's just admitting you were wrong. Admitting is the first step, I said. The rest is harder. I know. A long beat. Lydia's pregnant. The words landed like a stone in still water. I hadn't known. Nathan hadn't told me. Probably waiting for the right moment, or maybe protecting me from the awkwardness of sharing space with Evelyn again. "Congratulations," I said, and meant it. "She wants you there when the baby comes. Not as the woman from the restaurant. As family." I looked out the window. A young couple pushed a stroller past the park bench where the old pigeon lady used to sit. She hadn't been there in weeks. I hoped she was okay. "I'll be there," I said. "But not for you, Evelyn. For the child. And for Lydia. And for Nathan." "I understand." Her voice cracked again. "Thank you." The call ended. I stood there for a long time, phone still in hand, staring at the park. Change wasn't a lightning bolt. It was a slow thaw. Thanksgiving came sooner than expected. Nathan and Lydia hosted at their new place. A modest townhouse they'd bought with their own savings, no parental handouts. The air smelled of sage and roasting turkey, and the table was set with mismatched plates Lydia had picked up at a flea market. "Character over perfection," she'd said with a grin when I arrived. Evelyn and Harold were there, but not in the way they used to be. No designer labels screaming for attention. Evelyn wore a simple wool sweater, hair loose and unstyled. Harold's watch was gone, replaced by a plain leather band. They sat at the far end of the table, quiet, almost shrinking into themselves. Lydia, round with 7 months of pregnancy, waddled over to hug me. "You came. Wouldn't miss it." I handed her a small, wrapped box. Inside, a hand-knitted baby blanket, soft as clouds, in gender-neutral yellow. My mother made one for Nathan. I learned from her. Her eyes welled up. "It's perfect." Dinner was strange. Not bad, just unfamiliar. Evelyn passed the mashed potatoes without comment. Harold asked Nathan about his new project at work. Genuinely asked, not to pivot into a brag about his own deals. When Lydia mentioned wanting to take childbirth classes, Evelyn offered to pay, then caught herself. "Only if you want," she added quickly. "No strings." Lydia smiled. "We'll let you know." After dessert, pumpkin pie from a recipe I'd emailed Lydia weeks ago. Nathan pulled me aside in the kitchen. "They're trying, Mom. It's awkward as hell, but they're trying." "I see it." I glanced through the doorway. Evelyn was helping clear plates, movements careful like she was afraid to break something. "Trying isn't the same as changed." "But it's a start." He nodded. "Lydia's been reading your old journals. The ones you lent her." She underlined this one line like 50 times. "Wealth is what you give when no one's watching." I laughed softly. I was feeling poetic that day. "She wants to name the baby after you. If it's a girl. Beatrice." My throat tightened. "That's a big name to carry." "She says it's a strong name. For a strong woman." The baby arrived in late January. A girl, pink and squalling, with Nathan's dark hair and Lydia's stubborn chin. I was in the delivery room, holding Lydia's hand as she pushed, whispering the same words my neighbor had whispered to me decades ago. "You're stronger than you know." Evelyn and Harold waited in the hallway. When the nurse finally let them in, Evelyn's eyes were red-rimmed. She didn't rush to the bassinet. She stood back, hands clasped, waiting for permission. Lydia, exhausted but glowing, beckoned her closer. "Mom, meet your granddaughter." Evelyn approached slowly, like the floor might crack beneath her. She peered into the tiny face, and something broke open in her expression. Something soft and unguarded. "She's perfect," she whispered. Harold hung back, but when the baby grasped his finger with surprising strength, his shoulders shook once, a silent sob. Spring brought new rituals. Sunday mornings at the park, where I pushed little Beatrice in a stroller while Lydia walked beside me, sipping decaf and asking questions. About budgeting, about saying no to entitlement, about raising a child to value people over possessions. One day, Evelyn joined us. She didn't ask to. She just showed up with a bag of stale bread for the pigeons and sat on the bench. "I used to think feeding birds was a waste of time," she said quietly. "Now I get it. They don't care what kind of bread it is. They just want to eat." I didn't respond right away. I watched a scruffy pigeon peck at a crust, then share it with a smaller one. "People aren't pigeons," I said finally. "But maybe they should be." She nodded. "I sold the yacht." I raised an eyebrow. "Harold fought me on it, said it was an investment. I told him some investments don't pay dividends in peace." She shrugged. "We're downsizing, moving to a smaller place, closer to the kids." I looked at her, really looked. The lines around her eyes were deeper, but softer. The manicure was gone. Her nails were short, practical. "That's a big step." "It's terrifying," she admitted. But staying the same was worse. Years later, at little Beatrice's 5th birthday party, the backyard was chaos. Balloons, cakes smeared on faces, kids shrieking through a sprinkler. I sat on the porch steps, watching Nathan chase his daughter while Lydia handed out juice boxes. Evelyn approached with 2 lemonades. She handed me one. "I brought sugar-free," she said. "Figured you'd approve." I took it. Old habits. We sat in companionable silence. Harold was inside, helping assemble a tricycle with a screwdriver and more patience than I'd ever seen in him. "You know," Evelyn said, "I still have that black card you left on the table." I snorted. "You kept it?" "Framed it. In my office. Next to a photo of Beatrice. The baby, not you. Though I suppose you're both in the frame now." She smiled, small and real. "Reminder of the night I lost everything and gained this." I followed her gaze to the yard, where Nathan lifted his daughter onto his shoulders, her laughter ringing like bells. "You didn't lose everything," I said. "You just traded it for something that doesn't fit in a bank vault." She nodded, eyes glassy. "Worth it. I never moved out of my apartment. Never bought a mansion or a sports car. My wealth grew quietly. Investments, dividends, the kind of money that works while you sleep. But I spent it differently now. Anonymous scholarships for single mothers. A community center library stocked with books I'd loved as a girl. A trust for little Beatrice that she'd only access if she spent a year volunteering abroad. No strings, no expectations. Nathan asked once, "Mom, don't you ever want more?" I looked around my living room. The same worn couch, the same family photos, the same peace. "I have everything," I said. "The rest is just noise." And on quiet evenings, when the city hummed outside my window and the pigeons cooed in the park, I'd sit with a cup of tea and think of the night I walked into that restaurant dressed as someone I wasn't. I'd been poor once. Not in money, but in choices, in courage, in truth. That night, I reclaimed it all. And in the end, the richest thing I ever owned wasn't a paycheck or a platinum card. It was the freedom to be exactly who I was. Flaws, strength, history, and all. Without apology.